Hope you're having a good Friday morning and you're staying dry. If you've gotten a little bit of rain so far today, that is going to be on the increase. I'm Alan Holt. This is the Friday morning tropical update concerning the tropical Invest 95L that is moving into the coastal bend today. And you can see evidence of it here in the Gulf of Mexico. It's lit up on the radar. Lots of rain out there, and this is the rain production that's going to be moving into the coastal bend not only today but into tonight, overnight into Saturday morning, and for a good portion of Saturday. We are going to be in line for more tropical downpours. The green shades you're looking at, those are flash flood watches that will be in effect in the coastal bend until 7 o'clock Saturday evening. And what that means is that the potential for flooding is going to be in place until that time frame. And you see how widespread that is. All of south central Texas, south of I-10, included in those advisories. This is what it is right now. Current conditions as of 10:30 this morning, winds are at 30 miles per hour near the center of this low pressure feature. It is moving northwest, and it is going to move into South Texas, south of Corpus Christi, north of the Texas-Mexico border, and it is going to be an unorganized tropical wave, and this is what we've been calling for all week long. If you've been watching us and staying with us, an Invest 95L. In fact, the Hurricane Hunter plane went into this yesterday, investigated it, did not find any sign of organization, thus the continuation of Invest 95L. Hurricane Center continues to drop the chance for development. As this thing gets closer to land, it's just not going to have the time that it would need to become organized. So we are not concerned about anything like a tropical storm. We're not concerned about a hurricane. This is just a broad tropical disturbance moving into South Texas. This is why we are concerned about the flooding now. One, our ground is highly saturated. We've had 6 to 10 inches of rain across a wide region of land in South Texas over the last week or so, and the ground is like a wet sponge. You get a sponge wet, you can't put any more water into it. It just flows off the top of it, and that's in essence what our ground is going to be doing to any of this excess rain that we have. So we're on the northern side of this thing here in the coastal bend. That's typically the more active side when you're talking about tropical systems. So we're going to be on the wet, active side of this thing as it starts to move in. And what'll start happening into the afternoon and evening hours of Friday and into the early morning hours of Saturday is we'll start to see these bands of heavy rain line up, coming in, being drawn in by this low pressure feature, and it's going to set up for rounds of heavy rain wherever those bands of tropical downpours set up. So you could have a scenario where one location picks up a quick 3 inches of rain, and then maybe 10 miles north or south of that, or east or west, there's hardly any at all. That's going to be the kind of rain that we see moving in around this broad tropical low pressure feature. That's going to kick off toward between Laredo and Del Rio up the Rio Grande, and by Saturday, I'm thinking around sunset, the rain chances will be trending down, but not until a pretty good swath of land gets between 2 and 4 inches of rain, some isolated amounts of 6 inches or more within this purple shade. That pretty much encompasses all of our KIII viewing area and extends up the I-37 corridor into San Antonio. On the south side of that low, a little less, between 1 and 2 inches, but it is going to be primarily a flood threat with respect to how this system is going to evolve. Just a moderate threat now because the rain chances were not great last night. We didn't get a lot of rain, so the rainfall forecast dropped a little bit, 2 to 4 inches with isolated amounts over 6 inches. Coastal effects minor, things like 1 to 2 foot higher than normal tides, 3 to 5 foot waves, some minor coastal flooding. Rip current risk will be elevated. The winds, no threat here. As this is an unorganized system, it's our basic 10 to 20 mile per hour easterly wind that we'll have here. And sometimes tropical systems can produce weak funnel clouds that don't make it to the ground. They're tropical funnels and they are harmless for the majority of the time. Sometimes they get over water and drop down. That's a water spout, but those, again, aren't very common, so the tornadic threat is low. We are going to see these downpours, though, numerous in nature heading into the afternoon. Then we'll see perhaps a little bit of a lull right after sunset with activity continuing, moving into Saturday morning here. And it looks like a good portion of Saturday. This is 7 o'clock. We will have these banded tropical downpours coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. It's not going to be until Saturday around sunset that those rain chances begin to trend down. After that, back to the status quo of South Texas weather in the middle of September. Low 90s, partly cloudy skies to mainly sunny skies as we head into next week.